Well, hello! It's time for another exciting episode of Pens in Use. This is the show where I talk about the fountain pens and inks I've been using throughout the week. So, let's dive into it. So if videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And got a couple fun things coming up here, and hopefully an interesting video coming up next week. So let's take a look at some pens. Alright, so these are the pens I've been using this week from left to right. We have a Stipula Etruria Magma Edition, and a surprise coming with that one. We have a Geha 722. We have a Cleo Skribent Classic. We have a Sailor DE. They have a Jinhao 100, which has a Nemosine nib in it. We have a Sheaffer Icon, which I think is also sold as a Sheaffer 300. Not sure about that. My files, it's called the Sheaffer Icon. Nahvalur Nautilus, and finally the TWSBI Draco. As always, oops, upside down, I will be putting it in this jellyfish cognitive surplus theory notebook. I had a comment a while back. There are several notebooks. The theory is the one that's fountain pen friendly. There is also a hit my light. There's also a hypothesis that's not as good a paper unless you have an older one. I used to use a hypothesis on this channel, but yeah, now the paper in them is not as good as it used to be. But let's get right. If you hear noise in the background, I do have my air conditioner running. It's not hot yet, but it will be. So I learned the hard way that if I let this house get if I let this house heat up, it doesn't cool off. So yeah, we're gonna run the air conditioner. Alright, so the first pen is this. Oh, that looks good. I hope it comes out this nicely on the video. On the preview, that looks really good. Okay, anyway. This, I got so excited there I forgot what the pen's called. The Stipula Etruria Magma Edition. This was a special edition a few years ago. I actually bought it 2021. And I had a bugger of a time writing with it. I could write for a while, then it'd be awful. The nib was beautiful. The nib was beautiful in other pens. I tried replacing feeds. I tried all kinds of things over the years. I tried different nibs in this pen. Never anything satisfactory. I think the most recent thing you've seen on this channel is I tried using a Delta Serena nib in it, which was okay, except every time I'd write, I'd have to hold it like this for a while till the ink got down in the feed. So I was playing around, just a second, with this pen, which is a Moonman M800, I think. Anyway, that Stipula nib worked beautifully in it, so I pulled it out. So here's the Delta Serena nib that was in the Stipula. Here's the feed that was in the Stipula. Because I thought, what if I take the feed out of this Moonman pen, put it in the Delta? I also got the nib collar out, but I couldn't get the one out of the Stipula. So anyway, you can see, possibly, yeah, just barely, yeah. So you can see it's a different feed design. This is exactly like what came with the pen. It might even be the one that came with the pen. I've kind of lost track, which was the original Stipula feed. This is a Moonman feed. And it's doing a glorious job. So, I don't know. Stipula, maybe pick up your feeds from Moonman from now on. So, it is with great pleasure that I am going to write this. Stipula Etruria. And see, I've always liked how this pen feels in my hand. It just feels good. This has a T-Flex nib in it. And I am using Akkerman Groenmarkt Smaragd. Now, attentive listeners may recall that a viewer a few years ago sent me another T-Flex nib. It's currently in a Noodler's Conrad and honestly does a very good job there. So I'm not sure what the future for that nib is. Maybe I will just leave it in the Noodler's Conrad. It does very well in that pen. So if you have suggestions, let me know down in the comments. But yeah, no holding it nib down while the ink fills the feed. No runs out, mid-sentence. I've been writing pen pal letters and filling whole pages without it stopping. It is wonderful, and can't wait maybe to try a different ink in it. So that's my big success story this week. Another fun pen. I did a little repair work on it because, old plastic from the 70s. Plastic does age. And the little plastic nubbin that held this finial in broke. And it's been sitting on my to be repaired pile. I finally did it. I put a little too much glue on, but so be it. I got her back running, and of course this has always been a fun pen. So this is my Geha 722. And the ink in this, the nib in this is an oblique broad, and the ink is looking very nice. In fact, this is a contender for a keeper ink. I need to start keeping a list somewhere. I've got a video upcoming about notebooks, so I need a note page that I can find easily where I have a list of the inks that I really, really love. This is on there. Now, I have several other bottles of violet ink. I have a Califolio violet, a Atramentis violet. Can't remember if there's something else. I feel like there's one other, but it's not coming to me right now, so could be just those two. Anyway, this is a cute little bottle. Let's see if I can grab it quickly without knocking stuff over. Cheap, little cute. And Pelikan makes very good inks. That's one thing. I'm going to be probably for a while yet working down through my inks, but when I rebuild my ink collection in a few years, when I get all these inks used up, won't be as many, but you don't need the fanciest ink. Voila. Okay. Now here is my Cleo Skribent Classic. You might remember I didn't give this one the... Oh, it's a screw cap. I didn't give this one the greatest review, but with Atramentis ink, this pen comes alive. Cleo Skribent. And that's one problem with my doing first impressions, which is why I also do these pens in use. And I've been doing some survivor pens. In fact, my next pen will be a survivor pen. Sometimes Parker Quink Washable Blue isn't the best ink for a particular pen. And that's what I always do with my first impression. So that's why I usually try to do my talking part after I've had a couple of inks in the pen. I don't know, maybe I should start doing a follow-up writing with a couple of different inks. That makes it a much more complicated video, so maybe some notes on the page would suffice. I don't know. You're trying to film, oh, yeah, you put a new ink in this pen. Let's film another writing sample. Oh, yeah, how many writing samples do I want to sit through? Don't know. Okay. My next pen is a survivor pen. The ink in it is sparkly, And yeah, the sparkles settle out. And it's been in this pen for a while, so now expect great things. But this is a Sailor DE, so it was actually my very first experience with a fude nib. I'm running low on it, but I'm probably going to refill it with the same ink because this goes through the ink so quickly. So if you're trying to use up your inks, use a fude nib. It kind of looks like you're writing with a crayon, but hey. So I have 2 of these, different angles. I don't remember which one's the greater angle. But that's like a crayon. Fude. And, yeah, goes through the ink quickly, so this is a way to use up ink. So this is some J. Herbin. Ha 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 ha. 1670. Stormy Gray. Sparkly inks were a fad for a while. I fell for it for a while. So I have sparkly inks to my shame that I have to use up. But this is my last bottle of gray ink. I went through my whole collection. This is truly it. So I'm excited to use up this bottle. Sparkles, when it's in the pen for a while, start to collect in the feed and in strange places and don't come out evenly. Yeah, this new lighting, I like some things about how I'm doing it now. Showing close-ups doesn't work as great. Let's see if I can do close-up this way. Not that close. There we go. So you can kind of sort of see the sparkles. I guess this is about as close as I do it when I do my pen reviews. But anyway, the sparkles are a little something. It is fun. I've heard some people tell me, "Oh, you're destroying your pen." Other people, use them with impunity. I don't like to put them in pens that are hard to clean, so don't expect to see it in my, Pilot Custom 823. But I haven't really read where it causes damage, so I don't know. Alright, I just unscrewed it. This is kind of like a Pelikan, Parker Dual Fold. I love the finish. Parker, I'd love to see you trying a few more interesting finishes again. This one I've dressed up. I put on a Nemosine re-entry nib. Can't get those anymore. You can get Nemosine nibs as far as I know, but not the re-entry nibs. So this is a Jinhao, which I just misspelled, H-A-O 100. The Nemosine nib, I don't know if it's a fine or a medium or an extra fine or whatever it is. 1-0 in Nemosine. With a dot, I guess. I am using Lamy Turquoise, which I like very much. I have a few more turquoise inks to go through, so when I use this one up, I'll have to go through them also, but I very much liked the Pilot Iroshizuku turquoise I was using. There's a Sailor turquoise I'm going to use, which is no longer made. And I have a Monteverde turquoise from before they rebranded and redid all their bottles. And I probably have one or two others, who knows. It's a nice, happy, bright blue color. I like it. And then we get to my Sheaffer icon. Now that's what it was when I bought it. I don't remember where I bought it. But I do see that there's a similar pen, although I didn't find any in this color, for sale. Oh. I have, let's see if you can see that, crusties on my nib. But anyway, I've seen several of these for sale as, I think the Sheaffer 300, and there's a Sheaffer 100. But since I bought it as a Sheaffer icon with a fine nib, oh wow, that is not rating well. It was rating, I mean, not amazing. I will concede I'm not like super thrilled with this pen. So this is Krishna. I can't remember if this is my Ghat green. If this is one that I need to do a revisit on or not. I do remember being surprised when people told me, you know, were telling me what this pen costs, because I didn't spend a whole lot on it. So apparently I bought it on a sale and didn't realize it. But anyway, it usually does better than that, but the crusties tell me the ink may be drying out on the nib, so it might be time to just clean that pen out and do something new. Alright, then we get to my Nautilus Nahvalur. No, Nahvalur Nautilus. Formerly known as Narwhal Nautilus. I like this pen a lot. I think it's well designed. You know, 3 portholes for seeing the ink level, and as you can see, you can. You know, I have had, when I first published the review, people are saying, "Oh, you can't see the whole way across." Yes, you can. So this is a Nahvalur Nautilus. Now that's a nice ink to have in this pen. This is a broad nib, and the ink is the discontinued Sailor Gentle Apricot, which is a very bright orange ink. And every so often the Sailor Gentle inks get reissued. So if you want to buy a bottle of this, you know, you'll just have to wait till they're reissued, but every so often they do. But Sailor has a whole rainbow of colors available, so you can probably find something pretty close. And finally, the TWSBI Draco. Just love writing with this pen. This is the only TWSBI I own now, but it and I just get along perfectly. So this is a TWSBI with a broad nib. I forgot to mention it was a Draco, so we'll just do a dash in Draco, and then we will write the name of the ink. So this is an ink I'm trying to use up. Noodlers, Black Swan, in Australian Roses. So I'll tell you a little secret. I have been working on a video series called 8 Inks, 1 Pen. I decided I'm going to do Omos Black first because I'm almost out of it, and it's a discontinued ink. And so I thought it'd be nice to have it up there, you know, on the interweb just for posterity. This one is almost out also, so I'm thinking this will be the next one. I want to film a few of them this summer, right? So I have some chromatography paper now, and we're just going to, you know, film some inks. And hopefully use some up. Slightly wasteful, but, you know. If I enjoy it in a particular pen, I'll probably keep it in that pen and use it up. If I don't enjoy it in that pen, well, bye-bye. Alright, so first of all, it has been kind of a hot week. Not as hot as last week. Last week got into the hundreds, which for those of you who use a more rational temperature system, that's around 38 degrees Celsius. But hot enough. I'm not a hot person. I like it cold. So anyway, been hot. Had more rain than usual, but it is starting to dry up out there. My lawn has brown spots in it because I don't water grass. And yeah, just watering the garden and killing the weeds. In other excitement, the decluttering continues, but now I'm at that point where it's not like exciting progress to share. It's just, oh, look, I just decluttered my cabinet of fountain pens, which was more of a project than you would think, because had a lot of repair projects sitting on it. They, of course, collected dust, and yeah, I had those couple of years there where I didn't realize that reading glasses would solve all my eyesight problems. So, yeah, a lot of dust there. So I cleaned, sorted that, put it away in an organized way so I can get to the projects and have full access to my fountain pen cabinet. Plus, bonus, the fountain pen cabinet looks good again. The other exciting thing, as part of my decluttering, I've been going around getting spider webs, and then it's so easy to get them now because I bought this extendable dusting rod. I've been doing it every week, even in my basement, 'cause it's not like my house is that big. And holy cow, they are like building their webs everywhere in the house now. So I think it's going to take a couple of weeks for them to decide where they can safely build and where they can't, because it's no fun walking out your bedroom door and there's a spider web across it. So I think we got to get them used to their new wherever it is they go, because spiders are good for your home ecosystem. I just don't want them, out where I'm at, like building webs that fill with dust up in the corners of my rooms and stuff. So getting them trained. So what I'm going to do now is part of the decluttering, actually. I used to use a Midori Traveler's Notebook, which I don't think they go by Midori anymore. I think they just are called Traveler's Notebooks. But anyway, it's basically a leather cover, and then you can put all kinds of different things inside of it. And that used to be my planner/carry everywhere notebook. Well, found it when I was decluttering. I no longer use it because I now use an electronic solution. It's kind of a good compromise. It's a remarkable tablet, and so I've got everything I wanted in the Midori, only it's on this tablet now, and it's just, let's say, more convenient and more secure. So anyway, I discovered it, and I thought, well, it was a $50 piece of leather, so I'm going to talk now about, we'll go back down there, we're going to talk now about how I want to use that thing. So for many years, this was my planner. I now use an electronic solution. I have a remarkable tablet, like that's the brand name. I'm not, using a superlative or anything. But this was my planner. This was, when I bought it, it was sold as a Midori Traveler's Notebook. So the idea was you got this string that holds it together. You really buy this extremely expensive piece of leather with a hole in the back to hold the strap. And then there's some holes punched up here. And then you can put all kinds of different notebooks in it. So what I had was this grid notebook that I don't want to show you too closely here. But I would use, there's a page I hadn't started filling out. This must be after I switched totally to my Remarkable. But, I would do every month, I'd write down each day and the main things, and then I would go through it. I can see some written here, but I don't know what's written there. Is it anything bad? Oh, yeah, I don't want to share that. Okay, so, I just won't say, but I would do kind of a modified bullet journal here. I would write out things to do each day, little notes to myself. Sometimes if there's a staff meeting, I'd put my staff notes there. If I had student notes, which is why I didn't show you that page, I would put them there. And, it was grand. There was let's see here. We'll go in the summer when nothing was going on. Woo, you can't see that, can you? Oh, boy. There we go. Okay, so in the summer, there wasn't much going on. Apparently not that June. But, knowing that I had probably switched to my Remarkable by then, that would be why. But I would fill in everything. I was able to set this up as an academic planner because I could have the break be in June/July and then start the new year in a new calendar. So I'd buy a new yearly calendar every year. So I didn't write the years in this. But buy a new yearly calendar. And then there was, in the front, I had a manila, craft paper folder thing, kind of. And then a notebook, which, again, personal and stuff. But I'd have different things written in it, and it used this really nice, really thin paper. And I've just about filled it. So, but I started using that, so it was around that. So I started using that remarkable tablet and have not used this as a planner. So I thought, what could I do with it? So I'm going to take this out. I'm going to take this out, because they're just about, well, this one isn't so full, but, you know. So what I have here, there is this elastic piece, which I could keep a single notebook in. We want to stick with this, and then there's this elastic band kind of to hold it all together, and then I have my bag of inserts. So what do I have here? Well, first of all, they tell you how to do different numbers of refills. This thing, we got some spare elastic bands I've never used, a spare band to go around it, some more spare bands for, must be for the cover. Then I have a grid paper notebook. A sketch paper notebook, and I think another small paper notebook. So I'm a little curious, because who the hell knows why I bought a sketch notebook, because I'm not a sketcher. But, oh yeah, that is thick paper. So, this video was going to be, what do you think I should do with this notebook? But I think I've decided. So, the sketch paper is going in. The grid paper I'm going to set aside for the future. This I will set aside for the future. And these two, I'll look through and see if there's anything I need to save, and they'll probably go in the trash. But, the important thing is, I was going to say, what should I do with this notebook? Because what I'm thinking is it's going to be a, let's carry it with me type of notebook. But, you know, kind of like a pocket notebook or whatever. It's no longer going to be a planner, because I have my remarkable tablet to do that. But anyway, who knows? I may start doing some sketching when I'm on the road. I like the idea of carrying this more than my pocket notebooks. I think, and I'm going to talk about this when I do my video on notebooks, but I think it's important to have a notebook with you. Oh, now it's too dark. But, yeah, in my decluttering, I found this, and it crossed my mind, trash or treasure. And I voted for treasure. This will be more fun to carry around than a little pocket notebook. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start carrying this around. Now, I wish I'd bought the smaller size, which is about like that, but you know what? I've already spent the money on the leather, because that's what you buy for like $50, is this whole this leather thing. And, yeah. So, in this decluttering, I want things to have a use if I'm keeping them, even if it's decorative, but this I think I can use, so there we go. This is now my walking around notebook again. Just not a planner anymore. Okay, some of the other things that have been coming up just lately, I've been looking at my workflow, how I create things, and been writing a lot of notes. I've got a video coming up soon about notebooks, which are a piece of my workflow, but I'd like to get more into that and organize my workflow a little bit better. So I actually am a little curious about your workflow. Where does handwriting fall in it? Is handwriting a beginning? Is handwriting all you do? especially if you're retired, you may not care if it gets on the computer or not. So, just as far as creation of things. That was a very nebulous question. But I'm just a little curious about it. So, general outline, I will write notes in a notebook. And somewhere in that it turns into an outline, usually on my Remarkable tablet. And then from there, I usually type it into text. And then I get it onto the computer, type it using a typewriter and get onto the computer and edit it further. What I'm doing right now didn't go through that much work because this is pretty much off the cuff. But if you watch my notebook video that's coming up on Wednesday, I think. It was going to be this past Wednesday, but had a little eyeball issue, which I'll mention at the end here. I just thought, no, we're not filming today. But anyway, I'm curious. Maybe your end result is not on a computer. You end up building something or filming it or whatever. So, and then one other thing that's been coming up lately, I'm noticing with a few pens, is the limitations of my first impressions videos. Now, I've never liked unboxings, so unless it has historical interest, that usually goes very quickly in my videos. But I think it's good to see what I think originally. But then, the limitation is the writing sample you see is my first time with it, and usually using Parker Quink washable blue. Which, okay. But, what about when I use it for a week? What about when I put the next ink in it, or the next ink in it? And you might be saying, well, yeah, you call those videos survivor pens. You're right, I do. My survivor pen videos are, after I've had the pen at least 5 years. But what about those first impressions with other inks and more experience? So usually I do the my talking part several weeks after I've bought the pen. Enough time to truly evaluate it with different inks? No, not usually. Usually just enough time to evaluate it with that first fill. So I am thinking about those, how I want to retool them. I have a few survivor pen videos I could film. So I am thinking about doing that. I don't want to film my first impressions videos with a bunch of writing samples, because, oh, goody, now he's going to do it with Atramentis Red Roses. Oh, look, now he's going to do it with this other random ink that he pulled off his shelf. That starts to get long. So I'm wondering if I just write on the notebook page with other inks as I fill them, and then I can attach it to Evernote and put a picture in the video or something with comments. I don't know. The Cleo Skribent's a perfect example. With the Parker Quink washable blue, so not impressed. Atramentis ink, yeah. That ink kind of is a little spready when it gets on the paper, so I think it's a perfect combination with a kind of a dry pen. So, when I known that from my first impressions, you'd have just been like, oh, lackluster thin black pen, yay. So, I don't know, I'm starting to think that I need to do some retooling. Originally, when I started the channel, I would do reviews, so I'd wait until I'd been through at least one full fill of ink and was on a new one. So I'm not sure where I'm at with that. I think I want to keep continuing filming the initial impressions, otherwise it's not a first impression. But maybe put some other writing impressions on the page, which means I better get busy and pull some pens off my shelf over there, get them inked up with something else and get writing with them. Which further keeps them out of pens in use, because I don't like to put a pen in pens in use till I've done a video on it. So, first world problems, I guess. But I've also not been buying pens lately. I was trying to pay off the house, so, there is that. So maybe this is a good time to catch up on all those pens and catch up on some Survivor pen videos. So anyway, that's first impressions. I wrote on here also driving/upcoming. I got a lot of driving video ideas written down. Working on scripts and things. I also want to do some road tripping videos. I've got the footage for. I just need to put it together. Where I walk around some different small towns. That takes a lot of time, so I'm working on it. But anyway, I just want to do some of that because people seem to like it when I visit small towns. And there are channels out there where that's all they do is visit towns and cities and things. So that's something else to work on. The driving videos, especially if they're researched, take some time. But I've got some topics in mind. So to wrap all this up, I was going to film on Sunday, so you would have had a video on Wednesday, and possibly a book review on Monday, because I have a few book reviews ready to go. Sunday morning, I was washing my hair, and got some shampoo in my eye. Big deal. Who has not done that? Well, it stung a little, but whatever. Sometimes it does. Got out of the shower, drying off, went over to comb my hair, and oh my God, my eye just had this huge blister on it. It was nasty. And it hurt. So decided, well, we're not filming today, and I don't want to go very far away from my house in case I decide I need to get to the emergency room. Through the day, the blister went down, but it left a blood spot. There's still a small blood spot there, but it was not nice looking through the beginning of this week. And I mean, you know how I dress. Occasionally a viewer will criticize how I dress on this channel, but there's a point where I'm just like, yeah, I don't need people to see this. And my eye was at that point. So, I didn't do any filming this week. But here I am on Friday. It's mostly gone away. I don't feel any irritation in that eyeball. And seem to be no long-term effects. I have, of course, thrown that bottle of shampoo away. And will never use it again. But other than that, life goes on. And hoping to get some more videos. And this summer I want to get up to Medora, to the Teddy Roosevelt National Park in Medora, and there's one up in the Badlands. They're both in the Badlands. To the North Unit. But I want to get somewhere new. So I've been looking at the map. I've got some ideas. I don't want to be the guy that, you get this whole summer off and you do the exact same thing every summer and you spend most of it at home. I don't mind being a homebody because that's kind of my nature, but I do like to get out and I do like to go back to school thinking, yeah, I used that summer. So I'm going to try to get somewhere I haven't been before. I may get into Montana. I'm looking at a few spots there. Custer National Forest over there. I have explored some of the country around Ekalaka, but there's a lot there to see, so that's a close possibility. I have not ever been real far west in Montana, but the trouble with Montana is there is a lot of Montana. So, before you get to the Rockies or anything super interesting, so I don't know. We'll see. 24-year-old car, that kind of makes me think twice about anywhere I go. Another possibility is down in the Black Hills, there are some hot springs that are further south that I've never visited. That sounds fun. I have not visited the Badlands in South Dakota except once in my life, so that might be fun. Wall, it's a super tourist trap, but if I'm down there, I might as well do that. So anyway, I got a few ideas, and we'll just have to see what the summer brings with it. I don't want to spend too many nights in a motel room or anything. Yeah, the house is paid off, but I'm trying to save money because I don't get a paycheck till September. So, you know, my summers, I don't feel as free as I probably should. But so be it. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching. And if videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. Hey, got some travel ideas for me from southwestern North Dakota. Keep that in mind, so don't tell me Hawaii. Let me know down in the comments. Comment on how to use my Midori. I welcome that. Comments on workflow. If you have ideas for improving first impressions or other videos, I welcome that. And of course, any ideas on the driving videos. So thank you for watching. We'll talk to you later.